It's the month of Halloween. Shall we indulge in the goat of horror? A little Edgar Allen Poe? I'm the Ebony Otaku, the well-rounded nerd. And yes, my book is in several pieces because I've read it a lot. But let's not delay. It's a spooktacular month. Let's begin. All the following selections will be from Edgar Allan Poe's collection of poetry work. Spirits of the Dead. Thy soul shall find itself alone, alone of all on earth unknown. The cause, but none are near to pry into thine hour of secrecy. Be silent in that solitude, which is not loneliness, for then the spirits of the dead who stood in life before thee are again in death around thee, and their will shall then o'ershadow thee. Be still. For the night, though clear, shall frown, and the stars shall not look down from their thrones in the dark heaven with light like hope to mortals given, but their red orbs without beam to thy withering heart shall seem as burning and a fever which would cling to thee forever. But 'twill leave thee, as each star in the morning light afar will fly thee and vanish. But its thought thou canst not banish. The breath of God will be still, and the wisp upon the hill, by the summer breeze unbroken, shall charm thee as a token, and a symbol which shall be secrecy in thee. Lenore. Ha! Broken is the golden bowl, the spirit flown forever. Let the bell toll. A saintly soul glides down the Stygian river. And let the burial rite be read, the funeral song be sung, a dirge for the most lovely dead that ever died so young. And, Guy de Vere, hast thou no tear? Weep now or nevermore. See, on yon drear and rigid bier, low lies thy love, Lenore. Yon air, whose cheeks a pallid hue, with tears are streaming wet, sees only through their crocodile dew a vacant coronet. False friends! Ye loved her for her wealth, and hated her for her pride. And when she fell in feeble health, you blessed her that she died. How shall the ritual then be read, the requiem how be sung for her most wronged of all the dead that ever died so young? Peccavimus, but rave not thus, and let solemn song go up to God so mournfully that she may feel no wrong. The sweet Lenore hath gone before with young hope at her side, and thou art wild, for dear the child that should have been thy bride. For her, the fair and debonair, that now so lowly lies, the life still there upon her hair, the death upon her eyes. Ah, vaunt tonight, my heart is light, no dirge will I upraise, but waft the angle on her flight. With the pain of old days, let no bell toll, lest rest her sweet soul amid its hollowed mirth should catch the note as it doth float up from the damned earth to friends above, from friends below. The indignant ghost is riven from grief and moan to a gold throne beside the King of Heaven. For Annie. Thank heaven, the crisis, the danger is past, and the lingering illness is over at last, and the fever called living conquered. at last. Sadly, I know I am shorn of my strength, and no muscle I move as I lie at full length. But no matter, I feel I am better at length, and I rest so composedly now in my bed. Then any beholder might fancy me dead, might start at beholding me, thinking me dead. The sickness, the nausea, the pitiless pain ceased with the fever that maddened my brain, with the fever called living that burned in my brain. The moaning and groaning, the sighing and sobbing are quieted now, with horrible throbbing, a heart, oh, that horrible, horrible throbbing. And of all tortures, that torture the worst has abated the terrible torture of thirst. For the naphthaline river of glory accursed, I have drank of a water that quenches all thirst, of a water that flows with a lullaby sound, from a fountain a very few feet underground, from a cavern not very far down underground. And let it never be foolishly said that my room is gloomy and narrow my bed, for man never slept in a different bed, and to sleep he must slumber in just such a bed. My tantalized spirit here blandly reposes, forgetting or never regarding its roses, its old agitations of myrtles and roses. For now, while so quietly lying, its fancies a hollier odor about it, of pansies, a rosemary odor, commingled with pansies, with rue and the beautiful Puritan pansies. And so it happily lies, bathing in many, a dream of the love and the beauty of Annie, drowned in a bath of the tresses of Annie. She tenderly kissed me, she fondly caressed me, and then I fell gently to sleep on her breast, deeply to sleep from the heaven of her breast. When the light was extinguished, she covered me warm, and she prayed to the angels to keep me from harm, to the queen of the angels to shield me from harm. And I lie so composedly, now in my bed, knowing her love, that you fancy me dead, and I rest so contentedly, now in my bed, with her love at my breast, that you fancy me dead, that you shudder to look at me, thinking me dead. But my heart is brighter than all of the many stars of heaven, for it sparkles with Annie, it glows with the fire, and the love of my Annie, with the thought of the light of the eyes of my Annie. Annabel Lee. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived, whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and to be loved by me. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cold, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of a cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams the beautiful Annabel Lee. And the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. The bells. Hear the sledges with the bells, silver bells. What a world of merriment their melody foretells. How they tinkle, tinkle, tinkle in the icy air of night, while the stars that oversprinkle all the heavens seem to twinkle with a crystalline delight, keeping time, time, time in a sort of runic rhyme to the tintabulation that so musically wells from the bells, 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 from the jingling and the tinkling of the bells. Hear the mellow wedding bells, golden bells. What a world of happiness their harmony foretells. Through the balmy air of night, how they ring out their delight from the molten golden notes, and all in tune with a liquid ditty floats to the turtle dove that listens while she gloats on the moon. Oh, from out the sounding cells, what a gush of euphony voluminously wells! How it swells, how it dwells on the future, how it tells of the rapture that impels to the swinging and ringing of the bells, 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 of the bells, 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 of the bells, 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 to the rhyming and chiming of the bells. Hear the loud alarm bells, brazen bells. What a tale of terror now their turbulency tells. In the startled ear of night, how they scream out their affright, too much horrified to speak, they can only shriek, shriek out of tune, in a clamorous appealing to the mercy of the fire, in a mad exploitation of the death and frantic fire, leaping higher, 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 with a desperate desire and a resolute endeavor, now to sit or never by the side of the pale-faced moon. Oh, the bells, bells, bells! What a tale their terror tells of despair, of how they clang, clash, and roar. What a horror they outpour on the bosom of the palpitating air. Yet the ear, it fully knows by the twanging and clanging how the danger ebbs and flows. Yes, the ear distinctly tells in the jangling and the wrangling how the danger sinks and swells by the sinking or swelling in the anger of the bells, 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 in the clamor and the clangor of the bells. Hear the tolling of the bells, iron bells. What a world of solemn thought their monody compels. In the silence of the night, how we shiver with affright. After the melancholy menace of the tone, where every sound that floats from the rust within their throats is a groan. And the people, all the people that dwell up in the steeple, all alone, who tolling, 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 in that muffled monotone, feel a glory in so rolling on that human heart and stone. They are neither man nor woman, they are neither brute nor human, they are ghouls, and their king it is who tolls as he rolls, 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 rolls a pain from the bells, and his merry bosom swells with the pain of the bells, and he dances and he yells, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme to the pain of the bells, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme to the throbbing of the bells, 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 to the sobbing of the bells, keeping time, 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 as he knells, 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 in a happy runic rhyme to the rolling of the bells, 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 to the tolling of the bells, 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 to the moaning and groaning of the bells. If you enjoyed that, if you are from my channel and been here a while, you know that I was an English and theater major in college the first round, and I have a degree in the science of communication, and I'm working on a further degree in adult education and learning. I love reading. I love literature. We are well-rounded nerds here, and I highly advise investing in some classic English literature. Poe is one of our great English lit authors, and although I don't think he intended to write horror stories, he's kind of the blueprint for a lot of ways we write stories, and a lot of modern adaptations come from his work, Shakespeare and others. So if you're wondering where the roots are of some of your favorite stories, a lot of them are in these classic tales. I read poetry today. He doesn't just do poetry, he writes in prose, he writes plays. Well, wrote, he's been gone from us for a long time. But you may be more familiar with The Fall of the House of Usher. There was an adaptation that was done on Netflix. Was it true to this? No, it can't be, because the written medium and visual medium, they are two different ways to tell a story. So I never begrudge when we do the translation from page to visual that it's not exactly the same. It can't be, because it's a different method of getting the story across. But Poe has always been one of my favorites. Even when I was young, when I was first introduced to him, The Telltale Heart was the first thing of his I read and performed when I was on the forensics team when I was younger. Um, and also The Raven. You may be familiar with The Raven. That was actually a Simpsons Halloween special once. They did Bart as the Raven, kind of taunting Homer. So a lot of this classic literature is in our modern media. A lot of Twilight Zone episodes can be rooted in Edgar Allan Poe's writing. So there's so much good gothic writing out there if you're into that kind of thing. It is the spooktacular month. You might as well get out there and enjoy some of it. I'm just introducing you to some of my favorites during this month, and it's my channel. I can do whatever I want. So please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed that little foray into English poetry with Edgar Allan Poe. And this is a very old omnibus. I've had this omnibus since I was like 14. So it's in sections. There's another section on my desk over there. But anywho, please like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more Halloween themed videos.